speak behind me.
Yes.
So we're going to make as much as we can as often as we can, but we just did it with the team at the team hotel. It's game day, Chuck. Kickoff is at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central at the Hard Rock Stadium. So the Tigers have some, mechanics to go through here at the team hotel. Having breakfast right now, have some position meetings, have a walk through that, and all these times in Eastern, and departing for the stadium just before noon.
Yes, indeed. And when you talk about this new offense that we're going to see, I'll tell you what, Neely, we went 4-3 this past spring and averaged 35 points a game. So really looking forward to what offense coordinators, Coach Michael Pollack and Coach Jason Phillips are able to do today with some new pieces on the offense.
Yeah, got a lot of Pollack is finishing up his breakfast. I'll try to grab him when he walks by and see if we can get some comments from him. Players a little fresh air and that kind of thing. Big game thing.
A lot of moving parts down there as you bring guys in and they come up and holler at you. There's Nugget Warren, defensive back in the secondary. But you said the mechanics of what they're going to do before they get to the stadium. Neely, say that again.
Having some unit meetings here, having a walk around noon Eastern time. So that's something that's going to take place. Just finished up breakfast. It's 9:30. 10:30 to be checked, and then get ready to head out right there at noon. But between those two things, I'm going to do some walkthroughs as a team here at the hotel, much like the NFL does. Do walkthroughs at the hotel, not out on the field, just getting a big ball into the parking garage, or if there's space, and you do some last minute walkthroughs, check it out.
A little different configuration for you and I. We're normally coming from home stadium, where we have a sort of a static environment, but there you go, live environment, guys moving around behind you.
Dylan Spencer, homeboy, local guy out of Metro Jackson, Madison Central. So looking for him to have an impact on the defensive line. Let me get y'all that. So Chuck, it's head on the swivel down here, babe. I feel like a slot receiver.
Hey, watch for those linebackers and safeties peeking you out down there, buddy.
I'm an alligator arm that thing. I don't want it.
Yeah, but when you take a look at this Jackson State offense this past spring, 35 points per game this past spring, finished 4-3, but you get an opportunity to see some new faces this fall. You talk about Shedeur Sanders. We mentioned Peyton Pickett at running back transfer from Liberty.
Yeah, I'm right there.
You got Santi Marshall that you'll see. You mentioned Dylan Spencer, part of that retooled offensive line. They will be relied upon heavily today to open up some holes for these running backs and protect QB1.
Yes, that's the primary job. 1 or 2 protect the quarterback, open up some gaps for us running game. And the emphasis on priority 1 is protect the quarterback, because one thing about that running game, they just need 6 inches of daylight, and they're gonna take it, man. You experience a lot of big runs, for training camp, a lot of big practice. I think this guy's got some foot down their thumb.
Understood. And when we take a look at shift focus a little bit, we take a look at this Florida A&M offense. We mentioned their offensive line when we talked with Jeff Weeks, but they'll have starting quarterback today, Rashawn McKay. Rashawn McKay, when he came in 2019, he replaced an injured Ryan Stanley, who's the MEAC Offensive Player of the Year, but he had some of his biggest moments as a Rattler in that replacement role as he led them to a game-winning touchdown drive over North Carolina A&T. He also went 25 of 35 the following week against Morgan State for 246 yards. So they got a little bit of a slight experience, if you will, on the quarterback side of the ball, but from all things I've read and things I've seen with regards to McKay, they feel very confident with him under center for the Rattlers today.
Chuck, I was just talking about explosiveness and our running backs. looking at our running back coach making his coffee, man, he might have a career in Starbucks. You know,
as a barrister.
Championships. Oh, man. Also, see, I didn't know the big word, Chuck. Barrister is what they call it. Yeah, I'm looking at a barrister right here. I'm like, I don't drink coffee, but damn, I want some. Like, he made that look good because we were just talking about the running backs. Everybody was talking about that running game. I think they're gonna wake up about.
Think about the road trip. You gotta think defense and right. Like the good job once.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're looking forward to it. To say, man, you heard it. Talk about sanity. You know, talk about picking. Talk about those same things you've been listening to. It'll be a good day to run the ball on the road.
Good day to run the ball. I always pack your running game. I always remember Big Daddy Carson saying that.
Yeah, that's what Coach was just saying. Hey, when you're on the road, the running game goes with you. So that's going to be a phenomenal show. So breakfast is winding down back there. They're heading off to those unit meetings, and then doing that walk through 11. So it's going to be a lot of things. I'm going to put a guy on the spot right now. See, he might be in a rush. I'm going to put a guy on the spot. See if we can grab him for some insight and scoop. But Chuck, live from the team hotel, been here all week with the Tigers as they move about Miami, and today is finally here, man. It is game day of the Orange Blossom Classic Resurgence Sunday, FAMU versus Jackson State. Brother, you got a second? Yeah. Now, we want to talk. We want to all talk.
What's going on?
See, let me tell y'all something. This is the man Lotto, right? And when y'all see all this exceptional footage, all these promos, all this stuff is giving you just the greatest look ever of inside Jackson State football Tigers. This is the man who does it. And when you saw that Beats commercial featuring QB1, this is the man who did it. I know you run it, but I want to give you his headsets. Just give us about 90 seconds.
I got you. What's going on?
Lotto, what's going on, Lotto, man? It's good to have you on the pregame show, man. Hey, how has Miami been for you, man? You are really getting after it with regards to photos, video, the full gamut. But talk about a little bit about your experience down here.
Man, it's been great, man. We just, trying to get the kids and the team exposure, just trying to work fast and efficient, and it's been amazing. I'm a FAMU alum, so this is awesome to be in this environment and this experience. We've been waiting on this. Everybody been saying, wait for the fall. It's here. It's time, man. Y'all see what's going on. We here.
Let me ask you about what everybody has been talking about all across the country, and it's this commercial with Shedeur Sanders. Talk about your work with that commercial, that Beats by Dre commercial.
And I'm truly blessed, man. It was my first big commercial spot. Me and Shedeur, we created it last week. We shot it in 2 or 3 days and had a quick turnaround window, man, but it came out really well. And it was a great look for the city of Jackson, a great look for Jackson State and the Sonic Boom, so it's just continuing to build up that excitement, man. And we're here. We have to perform now. It was an excellent commercial, and it was great for the NIL movement. It was great for Shedeur, but it's time now, baby. It's time. You gotta deliver the goods.
You gotta deliver the goods. Let me ask you real quick with regards to the commercial. How important was it to marry the brands of Jackson State football and the Sonic Boom of the South?
So, going into the project, they were asking, what ways could they incorporate the school? And I had to tell them there was no way we could not do the video without incorporating the boom. So I think that was just a main key focal point of that, because we're one family, we on the same team. So I just thought it was major important for that.
Yes, indeed, man. I appreciate you stopping by the
I appreciate y'all, man. Hey, long overdue. I got to get back on here with you guys, man.
There you go.
Go Tigers, baby.
Go Tigers.
Oh, man, I'm good. Hey, man, that was Lotto, part of Coach Brian's beat the team, man, and the work that they do is really just phenomenal. When you follow the Go JSU Tigers FB, that Instagram account, you see the stuff on Jackson State Tigers Facebook, all those videos with drone footage, giving you those inside looks They give you that great insight imagery, they give you that great insight content, man. It's a wonderful partnership, and it always spells something that's a great day to be a Tiger.
Yes, indeed. Always a great day to be a Tiger. Neely, I'm taking a look at an updated depth chart for Jackson State today.
Yeah, let's run through it.
Yeah, let's go through it. We start across the offensive line. We start Tony Gray, left tackle, left guard, Dimitri Jordan, center Caleb Graham, right guard Vincent Sampson, and right tackle Cedric Dunbar. Quarterback one, he is Shador Sanders. In the backfield, we could be looking at Peyton Pickett, Santee Marshall, J.D. Martin, and Desmond Moultrie. They round out the running backs. At the wide position, Kylan Ritchie. He'll be backed up by DJ Stevens and Jency Riley. Also, looking around at the receiving corps, at the Z, we've talked about him all camp, Josh Lanier. Behind him will be Devontae Rucker. At the
Another Lotto.
Another Lotto. There you go, another Lotto.
With the Lotto we just in.
Yes, indeed. Looking at the Y, it'll be Warren Newman, Daniel Kroll. They will be joined along the receiving corps with Keith Corbin at the H and Ala Brown and Christian Allen, Mendenhall's own Christian Allen. He's been making some plays in camp.
He has been, and by the way, speaking of Christian Allen making that depth chart, going to get some reps today. Simpson County Super Bowl was on Friday, and the Mendenhall Tigers defeated the McGee Trojans in the Simpson County Super Bowl, 31-0. Hats off to Mendenhall High School football Tigers. We're going to build a monorail / pipeline of talent from Simpson County to 1400 next year.
There you go. And by the way, go ahead and upset all the McGee Trojan fans with the Simpson County Super Bowl by throwing that score out there. Yes, indeed. And also rounding out the receiving corps at the X, Shane Hooks. We've watched him all camp make plays. So Shane Hooks, looking for a big day from him today. On the defensive side of the ball, let's take a look at what we have. On the defensive side of the ball, we start along the defensive line. Niles Gaddy will be at one end. Antoine Owens will be plugging things up in the middle. Jamani Crane will be at the nose and the rush end. James Houston moves from his linebacker position down to defensive end to provide a little bit more speed. He'll be backed up by Dalen Dunn. The wheel is Keontae Hampton. The nickel is CJ Holmes. Right corner, we're looking at Al Young. In the left corner, we'll be taking a look at Dijon Nugget Warren. The mic is Aubrey Miller. He'll be backed up by Marion Hobson. Free safety, Cameron Silman, Herman Smith. Long safety, John Huggins and Javian Adams. Also looking at the nickel today will be Shiloh Sanders as well. So, and we've looked at Shiloh all camp. One thing we know about Shiloh, he brings helmet. He is the CEO of the Headache Gang.
And he is barking out those signals. He's the one who looks to the sideline to Coach Dennis Thurman, defense coordinator, and communicates to that defensive team. So you're going to hear his voice out there. Not only hear it pre-snap reads, but you're going to hear it after he brings that boom on somebody. Because like you said, Chuck is the CEO of the Headache Gang. I want to go back a layer, though, up a layer. You talked about those linebackers, and one thing that we know from Coach Hart, who joined us, my days are running together. I think that was Friday night. He joined us on the pregame show, and he talked about his expectation from the linebackers who come in to relieve. So when you look at that depth chart, when you look and see who's underneath Aubrey Miller, who's underneath Keontae Hampton, those are names that you want to focus on and watch for their numbers as well, because they are expected for no drop off and to bring an impact just like the starters do.
And we talk about it all the time, how important depth is, especially depth at the FCS level. You've got to have no drop off whatsoever when those starters need to breathe.
Yeah. Co-offense coordinator Jason Phillips just walked by. That was a fist bump. Y'all didn't recognize that face, Jay Fields. Focused, lasered in, heading to those team meetings. So again, Chuck, as you can see, the team is wrapping up. The luggage has been assembled. That's going to the stadium. The team is going up through the doors for the unity and walkthroughs. And the pregame show is live and in the mix, embedded with the team, bringing you exclusive content information, such as that depth chart that Chuck just put on you. We are hours from kickoff, but you heard it first on the pregame show who those starters are. So I know FAMU Coach Willie Simmons is listening to the show right now, writing those names down.
And you know,
you may not hear it first here, Chuck, but you're here at the deepest here. Like we deep dive into JSU.
We hear it. We definitely hear it. And let me show some love to the specialist Bailey Rayborn. He'll be your kicker. Punter Lane McGregor, long snapper. Paxton Branding, I should say. He'll be backed up by Jacob Polite. So those are your specialists for Jackson State today.
Yeah, special teams is going to be crucial. It's going to be crucial. We got to control field position, got to be able to flip field position, got to be able to make sure we're scoring on each drive and score includes a field goal. So look for that kicking unit. Don't try not to punt today, Chuck. Don't try not to punt today.
We're going to do our best not to punt.
This is going to be a kickoff day right here. We are kicking off. The only time we're kicking is field goals, extra points, and kicking off. We'll try not to punt today. But should we have to punt, we want to be a pen deep, get down there with the speed. Coach McCord is very vocal. You guys will hear him. He is loud and in charge of that special teams unit. And he has them ready to go, man. They know their lane assignments. They know how to keep things contained and where to drive, the wedge and that kind of thing. So he's been coaching them up. And this is his first true test against someone in a different jersey than you.
Yes, and they will be getting a true test today. Not only do we talk about Nugget being one of those guys who can really take it the distance, but when you take a look at this Florida A&M Rattler team, Xavier Smith, he is dangerous. He led the Florida A&M Rattlers in receiving in 2019 with 1,100 yards, 77 receptions in 2019. But he's also a very dangerous kickoff return man. Along the receiving core for the Rattlers, David Madigo, 5 touchdowns, 575 yards in 2019. They also, as mentioned earlier, returned their leading tailback in Bishop Bonnet, who led them with 372 yards in 2019. So this is a dangerous group that we're taking on today in the Florida A&M Rattlers.
Yeah, dangerous group playing a dangerous group. Immovable object makes the irresistible force. Coach Willie Shotgun Simmons, Coach Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, going heads up in this resurgence of the Orange Blossom Classic. I don't know, Chuck, feast or famine. This has the potential to be a shootout. It also has the potential, because of the strong defenses, to be a low-scoring affair. We're just going to see how it goes, and it's going to be like a boxing match. Someone's going to swing hard early to see if they can end it. And whoever weathers that first storm is going to be able to say, okay, this is real game. This is game time speed. This is why we practice tempo. Take a deep breath. I know you hear fans. I know the crowd is in here. Who can weather the storm? Who can weather the ebb and flow of momentum changes? Who can make the least amount of mistakes in week one? Typically, week 1 and 2 in football is where we have a lot of penalties because people are not used to the noise. They're not used to the distractions. So we get a lot of offsides because of aggressiveness and not being here. So whoever can make the least mistakes and clean those most of them up. Don't jump off sides on third. You're gonna jump off sides on third and 10. Don't give somebody first down over any kind of penalty. It's gonna be those little things, those discipline things that Coach Prime is all about. Smart, tough, fast, and discipline.
We talk about discipline, and let me throw this out here at you, Neely. How do you think playing in the spring will impact this team in terms of having this game today? Florida A&M did not play in the 2020 season. Is there a slight advantage tilted toward the Tigers in that regard?
I do think so, Chuck. But here's who I give that advantage to. I have to give that advantage to the coaching staff. When you look at this roster, the turnover in the roster in a positive sense, this is an 85% new team. So, you got Christian Allen out there who played last year. You have Tony Brady who played this spring. You got an Aubrey Miller who played this spring. But you also got a Niles Gannon and James Houston. Who was there this spring was the coaching staff. It's the same coaching staff for the spring, and they got to go through those mechanics, those game time feels together and get to know each other. And now they've had a true off season this summer, the fall camp, and then when school started, the preparation with the school schedule to get ready for teams to play. So I think it's the coaching staff that has a little bit more edge because they have coached in 2021 together in a game time situation, whether it was a loss, whether it was a win, whether it was a draw. I think that's a key advantage over the Simmons staff, who hasn't coached a live, real action game in over a year.
And you know, Neely, and talking with Coach Prime, he talked about how invaluable having this spring was to Jackson State's football program.
And I think what he was touching on is not only invaluable as the regard I just mentioned, the coaching staff, but invaluable to know he's not. You know, when he got here, it's announced September 1st. He officially took the helm December 1st. We had our first game February 21st. He had no idea about the roster, the talents, you know, what these guys were actually capable of. So he went into the spring having to give the benefit of the doubt to players, and having to see and evaluate and to see what he needs and where he needed that. So you still have a Keontae Hampton around, because Keontae Hampton fits the Coach Prime philosophy. You still have a CJ Holmes, you still have a Warren Newman and a Christian Allen on the previous administration's roster, because they fit what Coach Prime is trying to do. But then, because of that evaluation, then you say, this guy's not a good fit. We're trying to do the best and bring in somebody that does fit. And one thing you heard him say, nothing serious, and this simply is, I am trying to replace you. I am trying. He brings an NFL mentality to this coaching staff. I am trying to replace you as we speak, is his quote. So you're out there doing your thing. You got to keep doing it at a high level, because there's a guy coming out of high school or JUCO that wants your spot.
And you know, we laugh with regards to a phrase made popular by Coach Mike Tomlin: the standard is a standard. But when you talk about Coach Prime, there is a standard that you have to not just get to, but maintain. And that's something that keeps pushing this team.
And that standard is nuanced, that it is detailed, it is detailed. I'm talking about down to the socks, the way a shirt is tucked in, because he knows what kind of discipline of dress leads to discipline of play. You know, a guy who's coming not ready and dressed properly is the same guy who jumps off sides, the same guy who has a whole attempt, because discipline is discipline. So he preaches those small things, those little things. He is detailed.
Yes, indeed. Well, I tell you what, Neely, looking at the clock, 9:50, we're going to take us a quick break here on the Black College Sports Network. It's the pregame show with Neely and Charles Bishop.
If you're looking for quality seafood with friendly service, then the Fish Shack is the place for you. We're fast, fresh, and convenient, and ready to serve you today. You can order online and come in, or pick up your food curbside. We have outdoor seating as well. Need something to cool your taste buds? We have tasty daiquiris that you're sure to love. So come see us today at the Fish Shack in Byram, where we have great seafood and good daiquiris.
Let's get back to strolling instead of scrolling. Before we can safely come together, we need the facts on COVID-19 vaccines. Visit getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision for yourself and for your family.
This is the BCSN Pod Zone, your place for the news, views, and conversations about all things related to HBCU athletics. Here are the BCSN Sports Wrap, Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab, Knights of the Round Table, The Pregame Show, The Carlos Brown Show, The ONG Strike Zone, and more in one place. We are changing the way you consume HBCU sports, one broadcast at a time.
Okay, so how long have you been coming to Stanford?
Since 1987. I've forever loved Stan's Burgers because the people, they're real people. They help the community, and their family owned and operated. And the food, the quality, and service has always been phenomenal. And anywhere I'm at, I always recommend people to them. It's great food, and you get enough love for your money. If you need a good place to eat and you want a good environment to support the community and support the effort of the Jackson community, I recommend Stan's Super Burger to you because, like I said,
And welcome back here to the pregame show here on the Black College Sports Network. It is Charles Bishop and Neely. And Neely, you know, when we talk about this Orange Blossom Classic game, we've mentioned all week that Jackson State has been a participant in this game, especially 1961, 1962. Taking a look at the history of this game, and we had one of the greatest Jackson State quarterbacks of all time, in Roy Curry, who was the MVP of the 1962 game in which Jackson State knocked off the Florida A&M Rattler team.
Yeah, and it's been an exciting series, man. Series, not the game, but series in the interview that you did with quarterback, your QB1, your GOAT QB of all time, Jackson State, Roy Curry. I got to keep throwing that in because we had a difference of opinion there. But, you know, we broke that down into 4-part series. The 3 original parts are up on our YouTube page. So they run during show segments, but you can also go to YouTube and see Roy Curry parts 1, 2, and 3. But we're going to bring you part 4 today. Charles Bishop sat down with Roy Curry and talked about this historic 1962 Orange Blossom Classic, where he was named MVP. Chuck, I know it meant a lot for you to interview your QB1 and spend that kind of time with him, you know, knowing his family and well and that kind of thing. What were some of your takeaways before we go to that interview?
I mean, and some of the takeaways were the memories definitely of
God's
the
game day.
Classic.
We're gonna go beat FAMU.
I see Diamond, our student trainer down there.
But staff is gathered, but go right ahead, Chuck.
Yeah, but I mean, when you talk about some of the memories and you talk about the history of HBCU football, a lot of people with regards to looking at this time frame within HBCU football, a lot of people say that this late 50s through the 60s and 70s time frame, what you see in the SEC is what you saw in the Southwestern Athletic Conference back then. And Roy Curry was at the dawning of that time. So it was really phenomenal to sit down and talk to him in that regard.
Hey, Chuck, before we go through the interview, see if one of if he comes near, I'll see if he wants to come on for a second.
Yeah, well, look at who you're trying to bring in there, Nina. I couldn't quite hear you.
I was saying that Coach Hart is right there. We're trying to grab him.
Sure.
A word or two. I think they're heading off to position meetings. So I don't want to commit to it. I didn't want us to go directly to his work.
Yeah, Coach Andre Hart, he commands probably the featured group today, if you will, the linebacking core, and he has really put them through the paces in camp, looking for big things. And when you talk about Jackson State football, you talk linebacking core. That is the heart and soul of the Jackson State defense.
It's coming in now. It's real. Heading off to, I don't want to lay up, get to the meeting. Because one thing that the pregame show like to do, we like to be in the mix, but not be in the play. So
there you go.
Bring you this exclusive content, but not disrupt the process, because this is game. And we afforded this like access and proximity, but we don't want to but the defense is going off to their unit meeting, Chuck. So we can go ahead and go to that Roy Curry.
Well, Neely, it's been fun, man, to bring the pregame show this morning to our Jackson State fan base, and we will definitely bring you more content during the course of the day as we get ready for this Orange Blossom Classic. And in parting, we always leave you with the words of the great Coach Edward Lipscomb. Coach Lip, we got a team, by golly. We're going to fight, by golly. We're going to win, by golly. For my partner, Neely, is Charles Bishop, the pregame show. Check out this interview with Roy Curry, quarterback of the 1962 Orange Blossom Classic. When you take a look at yourself within this time frame, do you sort of take a lot of pride in what becomes of the NFL from the early 60s until now. When you stop and watch NFL football games now, do you just kind of, I guess, sometimes sit back and just say, we were sort of at the beginning of it all?
Yes, yes. I feel great about the time that I came along compared to what it is now, because it seemed like guys like Jim Brown, when the first time I saw him or we were on the field together, we played them in Canton, Ohio in the Hall of Fame game. And the great Jim Brown came out on the field, and I said, God, this is unbelievable, man. I'm out here with Jim Brown. And of course, their running game was unbelievable, their running game. And then we played them in Cleveland in Municipal Stadium, which was a baseball stadium at that particular time. Mm-hmm. And our game plan was to stop him altogether that particular night. He had a version for 192 yards in front of 83,000. That was the biggest crowd ever been in Municipal Stadium. 83,000, Charles. 83,000, man. And of course, he put on the show that night, man. I mean, he put on the show. Mm-hmm. But now, of course, coming up to now, I watch these guys, and the game is more wide open now. You know mm-hmm. what I mean? Mm-hmm. I mean, RPOs that they're doing now, run, pass, option, is unbelievable. The quarterback position is just wide open now. You can do anything you want to do on the field. Throw the ball underhanded, throw it without looking at other person, and it was just it was forbidden for you to throw a ball side back when I came along. You had mm-hmm. to throw it over the top, But now, hey man, the game is wide open and you're scoring a lot of points, and it's a lot of fun out there now. It's not as violent as it was back in my day. It was very violent. You go across the middle to catch a pass, a guy will clothesline you. Clotheslining was really illegal, but they let it go a lot of times.
Sure.
And what I mean by clotheslining, the guy would hit you with his forearm around the neck area, the head. Yeah, man, it was just unbelievable, man. And then, of course, the crackback block, all that is forbidden now. So the game has gotten a little softer, and mm-hmm. It's still good football, though. Still,
no doubt about it. Are there things that you see now in terms of offensive formations or innovations that Jackson State was running in the early 60s?
We weren't as wide open as they are now.
Sure.
You see so many different formations now and so many different things. We basically was a professional team offense at Jackson State, and we did a lot of play action. Because we had a good running game with Chico and Speedy and Lewis McCray. But Big Donnell was a big second string fullback. But we weren't as wide open. We didn't have as many trick plays. It was basically base running most all the time. And then I do a good play action and hold the lineman. Then, like I said, I look down the field. There's Willie, there's Arthur Turner, there's Al Greer.
Yeah.
If I didn't see them, of course, the next option was for me to take off.
No doubt. You're still very close to the game. You had a tremendous coaching career in the Chicago area after your playing days. But just what's going on at Jackson State now with Coach Prime, Coach Deion Sanders? As a former player, how exciting is it to see a potential renaissance, if you will, of African-American kids looking at going back to HBCU?
Man, I'm so happy. he's out recruiting. And of course, you know the thing, if you can't get the ball players, you're in bad shape. And that's what he's doing. I mean, he's doing an outstanding job. He didn't get as many ball players as he thought he had this year. But next year, I saw the 12 to 15 guys that he has. Man, let me tell you something. He's going to be something, man. He's going to be something. Jackson State going to be very tough. And I'm looking forward to Jackson State playing Florida A&M early in the year. Early this fall. He has the ball players. If he has the ball players, they're going to do wonderful things. And he's doing wonderful things for the university. He bringing in so much exposure to it. You know what I mean? I love that. I love that. But, you know, you got to have the recruits. You got to have them. Yeah. It used to be a guy that was working in Meridian, Mississippi, and he used to come up to Jackson State and he used to say the word, give me some big tackles. Give me some big tackles. And if he gets some big tackles, man, can blow some people off the ball or can stop some people. But you got to stop people too. You know what I mean? You can let people score, run up and down the field on you. Got to stop people. So if he gets the recruits, he's going to do well. And I think he's on his way.
No doubt about it. You know, Coach Curry, I have to say this has been a pleasure. It's been an honor to sit down and talk with you. You have so many stories and so much to share with our Jackson State fans. Any parting words that you have for the Jackson State alumni and the Jackson State fan base now?
Hey, I got these parting words. Get ready, baby. Get ready. This is going to be a wonderful year this year. This is going to be a wonderful year and for years to come. Dion has it all. I mean, he has it all. I mean, he got the coaching now. He got the people believing that he can, you know, believe you're gonna have it. Hey man, you're gonna be on your way. But it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be exciting.
No doubt about it. Coach Curry, like I said, it's been a pleasure. You definitely have an open invite here to the pregame show whenever you want to come on. You are always welcome.
I appreciate that so much, Charles. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
No doubt. Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and for all those who's listening and watching it from around the world. And we are now live from the corner of Dalton and Lynch Street. It's the show where we take you inside the game before the game begins. It's the pregame with your host, Charles Bishop and Neely. So get ready because we pregame harder than the other show's party. It's the pregame.